Hola a todos, bienvenidos nuevamente a Blockchain Land at Home. Soy José Rodríguez, director de Blockchain Land. Y ahora vamos a tener una conferencia, más bien una plática con el CEO de CoinPayments. Pero antes de eso, quería recordarles que nos pueden seguir en nuestras redes sociales como Talent Republic, ya sea en Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. También seguir nuestro canal de YouTube, donde esta y todas las conferencias, tanto de este evento como los pasados, los pueden encontrar en Talent Republic. Y también recordarles que pueden ver todos los eventos en talentland.tv y en blockchainland.tv. Ahora vamos a tener una plática interesante precisamente de pagos con Bitcoin, que es uno de los temas que, pues bueno, de los primeros casos de uso y los más interesantes, pero no solo con Bitcoin, con criptomonedas. Y para esto nos va a acompañar Jason Butcher. Jason es un emprendedor con casi 3 décadas de experiencia construyendo empresas globales a lo largo de diversas industrias y los siempre cambiantes mercados financieros. Jason es el director de coinpayments.net, fundador de HODLTech EU, Parallel Payments, Clear Payments y miembro de la junta directiva y asesor para numerosas empresas de fintech y procesadores de pago, tal como Paymachine, ViaCarte, the Blockchain Association of Canada, blockchainassociation.ca, the National Crowdfunding and FinTech Association, NSCFA de Canadá, y muchas otras. Le apasiona aplicar su espíritu empresarial para ayudar a digitalizar el mundo de las finanzas y el procesamiento de pagos, impulsando por hacer del mundo un lugar mejor. Su misión es reunir a pioneros y empresas innovadoras procedentes de todas las disciplinas. Y si ustedes han hecho algún pago en línea en alguna, digamos, moneda alternativa, token o altcoin, como se les llama, seguramente la interfase que usaron fue la de CoinPayments. Y ahora vamos a cambiar a inglés, pero vamos a tener también una traducción de esta conferencia. Para empezar con Jason. Jason, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to start talking about payments. I already made your intro in Spanish. Thank you very much for being part of Blockchain Land at Home.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation, and I look forward to having this conversation.
Great. So, Jason, let's start with, I said in the intro that precisely payments is one of the first use cases for blockchain, Bitcoin, and all the cryptocurrencies. And let's say that it's a basic case. And you're one of the biggest processors in payments that have been in the industry for lots of years now. So, I mean, payments has evolved from only Bitcoin to now the whole scope that you have. I even saw that you have Lightning Network, which is a very, let's say, new form of payment in the Bitcoin blockchain. So you have lots of optional payments. So there has been this evolution, but where do you think the market has evolved the most so far?
Well, I think with the form of payment being cryptocurrency is an additional type of form of payment that the majority of growth, I think, is where the adoption is starting to really take fold, where merchants and individuals, as well as, whether it's a B2B type business or business to consumer type businesses, are accepting crypto um, more regularly. I almost relate it in often my conversations similar to the areas of where Visa, MasterCard used to be many years ago, where you'd always see a Visa sign everywhere, but you didn't see MasterCard everywhere. So in a way, we're going to start seeing, and we've started seeing, where merchants and individuals are using crypto as the form of payment, and more retailers and organizations are accepting and feel more comfortable with accepting cryptocurrencies as that form of payment. So I think that's where we're definitely seeing it. The last few years, we've seen just a continuous growth in the entire world, and in our own business, where we operate in 180 countries, and we continually see this growth.
And this is interesting what you mentioned, because, for example, for us people in Mexico, Latin America, Venezuela, Argentina, etc., we have been living with a currency that's constantly losing value against first USD and then against other assets. So we're constantly losing value if we decide to save or invest in a local currency. So we're always looking into different options. And you can see cases like Venezuela, Argentina, where this ongoing economic crisis have accelerated somehow the adoption. But now we have a global economic crisis because of all this health issues and also governmental policies that are happening because of all this that is going on. So do you think that the current economic crisis will or is accelerating adoption? I know it isn't the optimal way, but do you think it is happening, or where are people going?
Well, I think with any kind of situation, whether it's a financial crisis or a world crisis or health crisis, there's always people looking at options as to how to be more stable, how to find other facilities to secure themselves, and that includes whether somebody feels like they're going to have a storm coming up and they hoard themselves up with a bunch of extra food and supplies because they're concerned about the challenges are going to be coming forward with them, or I think the epidemic areas and the pandemic areas right now with COVID, there is definitely an increase in usage of crypto, but I think there is an area with that crypto has had this phase over the last couple of years after the ICO market space where people have adopted to crypto. People are familiar with it. There's more familiar with instant payments where somebody might be buying a product or service from, say, outside of the country or even within the country, and that merchant receives that payment immediately rather than maybe using former payment methods of, say, crypto or say credit cards or other forms of payment where the receipt of that payment was delayed. And I think there's more concerns with that today than anything else, where crypto and blockchain elements of distribution or exchange of value has demonstrated that it's transparent, it's validated, it's confirmed, and you receive that exchange of value almost immediately, where in other methods of payment, it just wasn't really there. Of course, access to cash, physical cash, is definitely more challenging, and being able to transfer or settle those funds in an international space or even distant space is more challenging as well. So, there is elements of COVID, for example, people aren't able to go in person to make a payment with physical cash. So they're making a payment digitally. And you'll see that the growth in digital payments have far surpassed almost any type of growth, whether it's crypto or whether it's something else. The combination of e-commerce and digital payments has just exploded. So crypto is a digital form of payment, and it is just one of those methods of digital payments that are definitely become easier, and the growth is definitely the COVID space has definitely helped with that growth.
Yeah, so you've said you're in over 100 countries right now. You have many cryptocurrencies, tokens, and different payment options that you have in your platform. You said the adoption and also the necessity to work into e-commerce and digital and online payments has grown. So what is your outlook for the rest of 2020 and in the foremost years? Do you think this adoption will continue to grow? Do you think we will see other efforts or other industries or other companies coming in? Or do you see more people coming to cryptos, for example, with stable coins and different type of options?
Sure. Well, I guess my outlook for 2020 2021 is something I actually saw a couple of years ago, where it's a combination of things. It's a combination of legislation and regulation coming into place, creating more adoption and more stability, more understanding where the legal requirements are to facilitate transactions within this space. But I do also think that there's a significant push towards, I'll say, quote, stable coins. But I believe that a coin or a cryptocurrency or a digital asset that is a form of value exchange that gives a stable value is more than a stable coin where Some people may say a stable coin is backed by gold or backed by silver or backed by a specific currency, where I look at that currency is not necessarily stable itself. As we know, all currencies go up and down. And if you had a Venezuelan stable currency, digital currency, it wouldn't necessarily be called stable. But I think that there's governments and global economies and global spaces that are creating digital values that are stable based on their central backed coins. So you have the Eastern Caribbean central banks, for example, creating a digital currency that is traded between the banks so that they have less settlement issues and they don't require intermediary banks. You have different countries, even the U.S. is had the announcements recently that they're looking at and considering this digital value based on the USD. And of course, China has had this project, and there's a number of people that are going to be there. In my view, true view, almost all world currencies are already digital. The majority of transactions that are happening are transferred between banks and payment service providers, whether it's Visa or MasterCard or whatnot, and those are all digital transactions already. It's just a matter of how the data and information is stored. And so I look at 2020, 2021, 2022 as the movement towards all payments being digital, and the release or non-dependency on the physical form of value exchange. So I think that's really where we're moving to. We definitely see in our business a significant increase in exchange of value using coins such as USDT, where we see a significant increase in growth with transactions being done in that space. Of course, we're still seeing lots of depositories for our users who are depositing other coins and other crypto. BTC has always been number one for sure in the digital payments and digital depositories, but we definitely see a lot more movement towards stable coins for sure.
Great. And taking back into this, and you've mentioned some of the advantages of doing online payments with cryptocurrencies. Also, you mentioned some of the maybe risks or all the different intermediaries or parts in regular payments that normal people do not see, that what is under the hood. But there are a lot of people too that are hearing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for the first time during this event, during this conference. So to those people, what can you tell them that why should they start exploring services as coin payments, and what do you offer as a company? And if only pioneering companies or tech companies could use your tech, or is it available for any type of merchant?
Yeah, for sure. So in my sort of view, I've been involved in all types of payments industries, and my suggestion to a merchant who's looking at the type of form of payment that they might want to receive is, if they are receiving physical cash as a payment, but the person who's coming to their facility or coming to their website wants to pay with a different form of payment, it's in the best interest of the merchant, whether it's a technology company, whether it's a retailer, whether it's a mom and pop shop just selling something that they're selling. They've made hard products. Maybe it's a clothing, for example. If they limit themselves as to who they're going to accept payment from by limiting the type of payment that they have, they potentially are losing out on the actual sale. So in the shopping process, whether it's e-commerce or retail basis, if you have the facilities or abilities to accept more types of payment, you're going to increase your business and have more options to provide to your consumer or to your customer. So I believe, and our team really focuses on adoption for sure, and providing information education to merchants. But we also feel that from a merchant standpoint, if the merchant wants to increase their business and increase the opportunity to a consumer to make a purchase, whether they're using PayPal, or whether they're using a NetTeller or a Skrill, or whether they're using a Visa card or a MasterCard or a local debit card, or they're wanting to accept a voucher or trade dollars, or points or rewards. Whatever the form or method of payment is that the end consumer is looking to use or has access to, I would suggest that the merchant would benefit by having the opportunity to accept that. So, coin payments, for example, we support over 1,900 different types of cryptocurrencies within our digital wallet. And within that space, we allow a merchant to easily accept well over 130 of those currencies as a form of payment directly into their shopping cart or into their payment system. So with that, we add additional volume of potential buyers, and we add additional technology where it allows the merchant to accept those forms of payment. So it shouldn't be limited to a specific technology firm or new technology or anybody. It's really available to anybody who's wanting to accept a form of payment.
Great. And well, now that you have had this interaction with lots of merchants and customers, what would you say that are the challenges that most people face when they want to do either this integration as a merchant or a payment? And why does this happen? And on the other side, what has your team or what do you do to prevent this, let's say, fall off during the process?
Well, there's lots of different scenarios in that. For example, there are definitely people who are unsure of accepting cryptocurrency. That's one piece of it. They may not have the confidence or the comfort with being able to accept crypto. That's definitely another piece that we see in the marketplace. And then there's also the fact that I think that some people may be accepting too many different types of cryptocurrencies, or they feel that they are accepting crypto, but the end buyer doesn't have any crypto, or they don't know that they even accept cryptos. So there's a bit of marketing, there's a bit of promotion, there's a bit of lessons in education in this space. Our platform specifically has very easy to implement shopping cart plugins, where if you have a website or a system, you can very easily integrate that shopping cart plugin into your website. And we also have a point of sale device or point of sale product that an individual can accept accept payment directly at the point of sale. Technically, we do have APIs and more sophisticated systems where a technology firm may want to customize or adapt or white label our payment system to be able to facilitate those areas as well. There's always a support situation as well. For us, we provide significant support systems for merchants who are, maybe technically they're having challenges, or they have concerns whether or not their wallet is secure, or their storage or their transactions are secure. That's pretty straightforward. What I think there's a misconception or misunderstanding is that in the crypto space is that there are different facilities. There are confirmations and there are blockchain fees, which have the transactional systems that are there. And that's probably something that is more of an education piece that we find we also have to provide that additional education to merchants as well.
Great. And well, it's a very fast-paced, let's say, industry in the last decade, with a lot of innovation and a lot of things coming very fast this way. And for example, here in blockchain land, we have many topics like crypto arts, NFTs, payments, international payments, blockchain infrastructure, etc. So from your personal standpoint, or from your company's standpoint, what are the most exciting things going on in the crypto market, and where do you expect to be like the most exciting in this industry or interesting?
Well, from my standpoint, the most exciting things is that there's legislation and regulation that are really making things easier for companies and organizations like ourselves to really provide services to everybody. Over the years, we've seen no regulation and no legislation at all, which was great in certain ways because we could operate without having to have all the additional oversight and regulations and KYC and everything else. However, today it makes things easier. It makes things easier where we can work with other financial institutions. It makes it easier where we can easily and understand how to support all types of merchants and individuals by working within regulations and supporting this. We also see through this larger organizations that are more open to supporting the industry, even where you see the PayPals of the world now allowing people to buy and sell crypto directly within their accounts, and or say in the U.S. where Bank of America now allows individuals to buy Bitcoin directly within their accounts, and as well as trading platforms, whether it's Fidelity or other groups. So whether it's the European markets or North American markets, the world's space with regulations is really supporting us to be able to move things forward in ways that we weren't able to before, just because there was a misunderstanding or there wasn't the right details or the right documentation that allowed us to follow things properly, or at least we tried to as following best practices. But today, this in my view is the most exciting opportunity. Of course, technology is getting better. Transaction systems are getting better. More groups are opening up to better technology that allows for transactions to be more secure. There is also some interesting areas happening where we see more and more the industry groups all working together to support each other and also support individuals where there might be challenges or issues that come up where we all almost react instantly and support the industry. So I think there's a lot more connections and relationships that are happening too that are supporting the world market in the crypto payment space. So that's exciting.
You mentioned North America and Europe, and that are very interesting markets for everyone, and for which it is worthwhile making this investment, and you said in compliance and legal because of the value of the market. But right now, most of the people hearing us are from Mexico and Latin America, and we also had a panel of use cases in Africa. So these are new, let's say, what they call emerging markets, and you also have to take into notice Asia, which has one of the biggest populations in the world. So what regions or countries do you see the most potential for crypto payments, or would you like to go in?
Well, I mean, I really do think that the world market is really fascinating to me because it is growing everywhere. We ourselves are actually seeing a tremendous growth in the Latin American market, and we're also seeing a lot of growth in the European markets right now. Asia has always been strong for us, and I believe that with the adoption of where India has now come up with regulations and supporting, we are seeing a tremendous opportunity in the India market as well as the Asian markets as well. So we're in the beginning stages truly of the markets. Of course, there is the areas such as, like I was saying earlier, North American markets where they definitely have a very large commercial and e-commerce market. But I believe that where we're seeing it in the communications that we've had with groups like Binance, etc., they're all seeing tremendous growth in the India market and the Latin American market. So we're very excited to do that. We've just recently brought on Catalina and Tech, which is really very focused on the Latin American market, and she's been getting tremendous amount of response and feedback and getting a lot of coverage and interest within the crypto space within the Latin American market. So we're excited by that. We also see some of our clients, one of our FX and trading clients called QuantFree, which really focuses on the Latin American market, has just had tremendous growth over the last 6 months to a year. So I'm really excited by what's happening in the Latin American market.
Great, Jason. Well, we're done. We don't have any more time, but is there anywhere that we could reach you or your company? We had your coinpayments.net webpage, or is there anywhere else where people can reach you?
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking to reach us on our website, coinpayments.net is for sure. And I'm always accessible on LinkedIn, which is on linkedin.com/in/Jason Butcher. And of course, if anybody wants to get support or information we have a great support system within our on our website as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Jason, for being part of Blockchain Land at Home, and see you next time.
Excellent. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.